pitching and chipping and about ball position. Always remember, the lower you want to hit the ball, the farther back towards the right foot you're going to place the ball. If I want to hit it real low, you can see the ball position will be behind the right foot. If I want to hit it just a touch higher, as you can see the ball position, I will start to move it up more in my stance. Now, the first shot we're going to talk about is the chip shot. So, first we're going to establish the ball position off of our right foot. We're going to place the grip handle off of our left thigh. Then I'm going to go ahead and grip the club with the hands up a little bit higher than I normally would have them in the full swing. And then I'm going to place all of my weight onto the left side. If you can get into this setup position, this will allow you to hit the ball low. You can also use this technique even with your full swing if you had to hit underneath some branches or some tree limbs. The motion to this swing is pretty simple. I'm going to use my arms and my shoulders when I take it back. I want to make sure that I don't transfer the weight over to the right side on the chipping motion. As I come into the ball, there's not much of a follow throw. You want to make sure that you finish with the club head below your kneecaps for this type of shot. Let me hit one and show you what it should look like. So the ball position's back, grip handle is off the left thigh, hands are high, weight's on the left side, and then I'm going to use my shoulders and arms and then just strike down on the ball. And that's going to hit the ball low onto the putting surface. And remember, when you're chipping, you want to use a 7-iron or possibly even an 8-iron to hit chip shots. Normally we'll use these two clubs when we have an uphill chip. Remember, the chip shot is going to produce more overspin on the ball, and that will allow the ball to run up the hill. If you were to use a sand wedge or a pitching wedge when chipping the ball, it would actually put too much backspin on it and you couldn't get it up the slope. Now, if you're chipping and it's on a downhill slope, then that's when we're going to use our pitching wedge or our 9-iron or possibly even our sand wedge in some occasions. And again, the reason for that is because it's going to produce more backspin on the ball, which will slow it down going on the downhill slope. The next thing we're going to talk about is pitching. You know, there's not a whole lot that is different between the pitching motion and your full swing motion, okay? I think the big difference here is that we just have more weight on our left side than we would, say, with the driver. Okay, it's almost just the opposite. With the driver, we'll kind of tilt back a little bit more and have more weight on the right side. But to hit a pitch shot, what we're going to do is place the ball position towards the center portion of our stance. As we talked about before, depending on the length of the pitch shot that you're trying to hit, typically I want a club head length to possibly 2 club head lengths for the width of my stance. Once I establish the ball position and the width of my stance, then I'll put about 70% of my weight over on the left-hand side. From there, the swinging motion, all I want to do is just feel like the hands break up, and then I want to pop down on the ball. Again, I don't need to have a real high finish for even this type of swing. The only thing that I'm trying to do is trust the loft of the club, and you're going to be using either a sand wedge or pitching wedge for this type of shot. So I'm just trying to trust the loft of the club face and just pop down on the ball. So let's give it a shot. Weight's over on the left-hand side. The width of my stance isn't very wide. I want to set it up with my hands, pop down, and notice how I still finish my swing. Notice how the belt buckle and the buttons of my shirt are still pointing in line with the target.